So as a business, you always have to be thinking ahead. What am I doing today that is resonating with my clients? How am I being close to my customers? What are their changing issues that they're having on a daily basis? And am I able to meet and solve those issues? And if that is the case, then, and your brand, coming back to your brand, is able to articulate that, then you'll have a business and you're able to have some longevity in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say is the thing that businesses struggle with the most?
That why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, especially if businesses have been around for a little while, and I'm talking about, I said, well, I'm quite short term, 5-10 years. What got them really excited at the beginning, they sort of lost their mojo, lost their direction.
Yeah.
And what we try and do is energize that and say, look, you've got a great business here. It just needs a bit more, just focus, just narrowing. So you're doing everything to all things to all men. And again, you're not able to really focus on your key customers, because you're taking on customers that are unprofitable. You're taking on customers that don't fit into your values or culture or whatever it is. You got all this, group of customers that you're not quite sure whether they the ones that you should be looking at, or these are the ones that you should be focusing on. So we help people to pitch that purpose, sometimes reframing the vision, which helps to, again, reframe the brand, because things change. And we should be able to have that opportunity to reframe our brand as time goes by. It should be. Because again, you're meeting the needs of your customers. You're falling in line what the customer needs are, or the customers that you really feel that, oh yeah, we're really good at that area. Let's frame our business around that.
I think that's really good what you hit on there with regards to coming back to the audience. I think people lose sight of that sometimes. So they start off with the audience in mind. They develop the brand. As it grows and more people come in and kind of dilute that leadership team or add to the leadership team, and you have these different perspectives. That was one of the reasons where the unified brand came from, was working with people who had leadership teams where everybody was on a different page when it came to the brand. They're all different positions. And it was kind of trying to create that alignment. And I love the idea you said there about, you can shift that vision, because there's nothing more energizing than if you have a really good vision that you can see, essentially you can see in the future and you want to move towards it. So what are some of the things that you do to help with the purpose and the vision side of things? And kind of, I like what you said there as well about getting rid of stuff on the sides. I think that's really important, and focusing. So what are some of the stuff you do when you work with businesses to do that?
Yeah, and a lot of it is that we create this sort of, strategic plan for them, and so we don't do it, we how can we put it, we get it out of them, so we hang them upside down and shake them up, and and hopefully the right answer comes out at the bottom end. But no, in simple terms, we facilitate that thinking. We get them to look a bit broader and say, look at the customer base that they have, especially, as you probably will attest to, that typically in most businesses, the top 20% of the customers are comprising most of the business revenue anyway, generally. So what's that 20% of your customers that you're working with? What are they like? And sometimes some of them are, they're great, but they're a pain in the backside to work with. Okay, all right, then there may be a pain in the backside, but what can you do in terms of your processes and systems to ensure that they come, sort of become like a favored customer? But we look at that customer base and that top customers element, and we say, okay, from that, is that where you see things going? Is that where your business is going to lie? And after that, they may say, well, okay, these are sort of, over the years, we've now created 5 services. Before we had one, we've got 5 different products or 5 different services. Okay, well, so let's look at them, right? Of those 20% customers, of those sectors that your products or services that you're involved with, let's have a breakdown on where your effort and activity is, and more importantly, which ones are profitable or not. And then you seem to get a feel for, okay, wow, you got these 2 products or these 2 services, really the ones that are what you seem to have developed into, which you seem to be known for, which your brand, is probably not even communicating, but you're pretty good at it. So really, okay, what can we do now to focus on those areas to get more of those type of clients and to whatever it is. So, you know, you create those strategies and tactics around identifying those key clients that are going to be more profitable, focusing your business around that operationally, because clearly, you know, you may have a big admin team or back office team that is focused on a sector that is not profitable. So how do you focus on, let's get more of those bigger clients, including the sales team, operationally, back office, finance elements, you know, in terms of terms and conditions as well. You know, we get better profitability. Let's get more profitability by upselling, by offering better terms, by better settlement terms, whatever it is. So you're focusing now more on the areas that are going to drive profitability and growth rather than being all things to all men. Doesn't mean that you cut them off, but over time, you'll cut off those areas and just focus on those profitable elements, because profit is a key thing. You know, revenue is vanity, but I'd rather have less revenue, but more profit. So ultimately, and people don't really understand that most of the time, you know, you can get more profit by having less revenue. Really? Oh, yeah. You know, this is what you do. So, yeah.
Cool. And so where did the inspiration for the book come from? And could you sort of give a brief introduction to the book? And I'll put a link in the show notes for anyone that wants to check it out. But
sure. Well, I've got a Blue Peter one I made the other day. There you go. 10 Commandments of Business Growth. And yes, it's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. And I was sharing, laughing with you the other day about doing the Audible version. So if you want to hear my sultry tones on Audible, with a duvet over my head, you know, in a bit of a sort of a dressing room cupboard in my daughter's bedroom, then you can listen to that as well. But no, it was quite fun doing that. But no, that idea really came from, I've had it for donkey's years. It was always an aspiration to do it. I had it before 4 years sitting in my InDrive, you know, and probably 80% completed. And when COVID came, you know, we took the opportunities to say all to our clients, okay, you need to stop, and we'll navigate our way through helping you. So we gave them some principles of how to navigate COVID, and on the back of that discussion, which was great because that basically put my business on stop. we had sort of 2 or 3 months doing nothing really. In simple, I mean, we were keeping contact with our clients as one does, and but ultimately, you know, there was no real tangible invoiceable work because we weren't seeing anybody and we weren't having any particular meeting. We didn't really develop the Zoom concept of coaching at the time. Most of it was face to face with our clients. So anyway, the bottom line is that, yeah, I took the time to develop a few assets. I did an online course as well, which was based on the book. But yeah, finished the book. And that was an experience in itself. But again, with the sort of grey hair and balding head, you know, you accumulate quite a bit of war stories. You get a chance. I mean, my clients are fantastic, you know. So a lot of the book is really a test to them, really, in terms of their ability to come out of really difficult situations to really grow their businesses. And I appreciate we've helped to facilitate that. So I don't want to take away the impact that we've had in the process. But yeah, what has been good is that over the last 20 odd years, you simulate principles that you see repeated time and time and time again in businesses of all sizes. And so what I just did was try and create like a simple manual, really. You know, I appreciate there's going to be more than 10 commandments, but, you know, principles of growing your business. But I just wanted to pick out the creme de la creme, you know, what I felt were the real big ones that, you know, if you were able to focus on those areas effectively, they could make a demonstrable difference to the business.